Sound off.
Rated T14.
Does young people even need a voice in this community? What can the community expect from this show?
I am my brother's keeper. We got to be responsible for each other.
It's okay to be different. Building stronger communities by helping the rest of our community really make it and achieve their dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
You're listening to Sound Off, and Sound Off is heard once again every Saturday morning on your favorite radio station. And Sound Off is proud to be sponsored weekly by Carolina Teen Health. And I'm telling you, Wardell, we have some good-looking people on this morning. We're live in the streets, and I'm now with a beautiful young lady. What's your name, sweetie?
Asia Chenery.
Asia, what a beautiful name for a very beautiful young lady. Now, Asia, what we're talking about this morning is stereotype. What is your view on that, honey?
My view is that people shouldn't have stereotypes. Like, with people from Delaware, everybody's saying that people from Delaware are rude, and that's, like, so not true.
Okay. And so you are from Delaware, and you're not rude? No. Okay, well, I'm going to step on your toe. No, just kidding. Okay. Listen, that's a good one. I've never heard that, so I don't think people from Delaware are rude.
That's not true.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is it true? It's not true?
No, it's not true at all.
So would you say you're a pretty nice person?
Yeah, I'm a pretty nice person. It all depends if people get on my bad side or not, though. But I'm a really nice person.
Okay, for the next few minutes, I will not get on your bad side. Now, at Sound Off, what we do, sweetie, is we allow people to do shout-outs. So I want you to call first and last name, give the government name, and go ahead and give me some shout-outs.
I like to give a shout-out to my sister, Shamika Faison, and my sister, Robin Chenery. Some people from school, like my best friend, AJ Fowler. That's my girl. And my good friend, Bridget Weiss. They're some good people, so.
Thank you very much. What about, give a shout-out to one of your teachers.
Shout out to Mr. Smithwick, Austin, cool teacher. It's my math teacher. He's the best.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And I think it's very beneficial to parents to hear what the teens have to say, positive feedback, even things that we may not agree with. I think it's good for all the community to get in and listen to it, because when we hear what our kids have to say, we can be better equipped to help them in all these different areas that it may be some things that are bothering them, some things that are, that they really feel confident about, and we want to be the backbone for our children to help them succeed. So we need to hear what they have to say. So educators, community youth leaders from churches, everyone needs to really get on the show and start listening on Saturday mornings, because it is a lot of great positive feedback from our youth.
Now I'm going to throw it back to my team member, Aria. Okay, hey guys. I'm here with Sound Off, and we're here with
Jamie.
And I'm Aria Brantley. We're talking about stereotypes. Do you have an example of a stereotype?
People from New York City being rude.
Nice. That's a good one. Are you from New York?
Yes, I am from New York.
On Sound Off, we do shout out. So do you have a shout out? Do you want?
Shout out to my mom and my dad up in heaven. That's about it. My mom's name's Bonnie, and my dad's name's Mike.
All right. Thank you so much. Back to you, Miss Schofield.
Thank you, Aria, and I am so happy. I just ran across this handsome man, and we're at Collins Park. We're doing Sound Off Live. And good morning, sir, and how are you?
Doing great.
And what's your name, sir?
Derry Watts.
Okay, Mr. Watts. What we're talking about this morning is stereotypes. So I just want to get your view on as much as you want to say or as little as you want to say as it relates to stereotyping.
Well, in my opinion, stereotyping when you group a whole amount of people as having the same characteristics. That's how I view stereotyping.
Okay. All right, you know what I want you to do? Give me an example.
Well, when I was younger, I don't do it as much anymore, but I would come out here on Sunday afternoon, and I'd be one or two whites, and the rest would be African Americans. And so there was a stereotype that African Americans played basketball and whites didn't, but it's not the fact.
And it's not, because you know what? White man can't jump. Y'all can't jump. I'm messing. I think you can. I was watching you. You got game. You got game. Okay, you know what? I know you probably got some people that you might want to say good morning to or hello. On Sound Off, what we do is we ask people to give a shout-out. So would you like to give a shout-out to anyone?
I'll give a shout-out to my wife, Karen Watts. She teaches at Whittemore Park.
Karen Watts. Everybody give it up for Karen Watts. Woohoo! Big shout-out to Ms. Watts, Whittemore Park Middle School. Thank you, Mr. Watts. Thank you, sir.
This Sound Off platform is a very different and a very needed platform, and I wish and my hopes are that it gets bigger, better, and more informative, because this is a way of reaching out and letting people know because the Bible does says, without knowledge, our people shall perish. And Sound Off is giving the community the knowledge that's needed in this day and time.
We're having so much fun this morning at Sound Off. We decided to take Sound Off to the streets. And again, Sound Off is designed with our young people in mind. We try to deal with topics that are relevant to the young people. And this morning, we're going to have a little fun. Once again, we're talking about stereotype. And I am now with a very beautiful young lady. What is your name, sweetheart?
Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, so we're talking about stereotypes. So what are your views as it relates to stereotyping?
Why do people think young mothers are ignorant when it comes to raising their children?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I like that. Okay, listen, on Sound Off, we do shout-outs. And I know there's somebody out there you'd like to shout out to. So at this time, give me my shout-outs, girl.
I would like to give a shout-out to my mom and my son, Mason.
Okay, what's your mom's name? You know you need to call your mom's name.
Tina Bryant.
And what's your baby's name again?
His name is Mason.
Mason what?
Mason Bryant.
Mason Bryant and Tina, big shout out. Where you from? What part of Conway?
North Conway.
Okay, so we're going to shout out everybody in
North Conway.
Big shout out to everybody in North Conway. Woo! That's what's up. Once again, we're Sound Off live in the streets, and with me now is a beautiful young lady. What's your name, sweetie?
Kaylee.
And Kaylee. Okay, that's a beautiful name for a beautiful young lady. Would you agree or disagree?
Agree.
That's right, girl. You know you're beautiful. Kaylee, this morning we're talking about stereotype. Do you have any opinion as it relates to stereotyping?
How people always think that if you have glasses, you're a nerd.
That is a very good point, Kaylee. You know what I want you to do now? You gave such a good answer. I want you to shout out anyone that you want to give a shout out to.
I like to give a shout out to Walkmall Elementary and my mom, Rhonda, and my dad, Joey, and my sisters, Savannah and Tyra, and Gilbert.
Good job, sweetie. Thank you so much. Once again, you're listening to Sound Off, and Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. And with me now is a very beautiful young lady, Miss Rhonda. How you doing?
I'm great.
And where you from, Miss Rhonda?
I am from Conway.
Conway. All right. And so this morning what we're talking about is stereotype. So what are your views on stereotyping?
My views are why everyone gets upset with, and doesn't want to hang out with other kids that's not wearing the exact same thing that they're wearing. Why they're not in the name style brands, then they kind of get shoved off to the side, and that's my question.
And that is really good. Horry County, Georgetown County, I hope y'all are listening. That is a really good stereotypical situation that we need to deal with. Just because they're not wearing Gucci, or just because they're not wearing Polo, does that mean they're not as good as the other kids? Absolutely not. Let's say it together. Absolutely not. That's my Rhonda. Listen, at Sound Off, Miss Rhonda, we like to give shout-outs. So I want you to give a shout-out to whatever, whomever you'd like, and here's your 2 seconds of fame. No, you can take a little longer than 2 seconds.
Give a shout-out to Reliable Mechanics, located in Conway on the outskirts of Aner, on 501 Business near Walmart. And all my hard-working guys there.
And what's your guys' name? Shout them guys out.
Joey, Kay, and Brian.
Joey, Kay, and Brian, and Reliable Mechanics, located here in Conway. Big shout out. And thank you so much, Miss Rhonda. We appreciate it. You have a good morning. Woo! That's what. Once again, the fun continues on this morning. We're Sound Off live in the streets. Matter of fact, we're at Collins Park early in the morning talking to a beautiful young lady from Aner, South Carolina. Good morning, sweetie. What's your name?
Savannah.
And Savannah, this morning we're talking about stereotypes. So what do you have for me, Savannah? Because you had a lot to say before the cameras were rolling.
Why do people think just because you're from Aner, you're a hillbilly?
Ooh, are you a hillbilly? No. Well, listen, y'all stop assuming everybody from Aner is a hillbilly, because Savannah is not, but her mama is. Just kidding. Mama's sitting right here. I'm just playing. My bad. Now, Savannah, this is your opportunity to give a shout out to anybody in Horry County, but I know you're going to shout out somebody in Aner. So here it goes.
Okay, me and Gilbert Sanchez want to shout out to Mr. Brown, our principal at Aner High School, and I want to shout out to Tyra. She's my best friend.
Okay. Anybody else?
And my mama and Kaylee and everybody in Aner.
Big shout outs to everybody in Aner, South Carolina, and Darryl Brown, principal of Aner High School. Big shout outs. Thank you very much, sweetie. Welcome back to Sound Off, and Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. And at Sound Off, we strive very hard to deal with topics that are relevant to our young people. And with me this morning, I'm telling you, Aner is shutting it down in Conway. I have another beautiful young lady from Aner. And what's your name, sweetie?
Jessica.
Jessica. Now, I know it's early, Jessica, but you can speak a little louder than that. Tell me again, what's your name, baby?
Jessica.
Now, Jessica, on this morning, what we're doing is we're talking about stereotyping. So what are your views as it relates to stereotyping, or do you have a comment?
I date someone from Jersey, and he thinks he's better than everybody else from the South.
Ooh, so people from Jersey think that they're better than people from the South. That's a good one. Why you date him if he think he's better than you? That's a Jerry Springer thing?
No, I love him.
Oh, that's so sweet. Now, Jessica, on Sound Off, what we do is we allow you to do a shout out. So you can shout out to anybody you'd like to shout out to, beginning now.
My homie Becca.
Okay, what's Becky? What's her last name?
Kaywood.
Okay, and what's that Jersey boy that think he's better than you? What's his name?
John Hagan.
John Hagan, you're not better than us because you're from New Jersey. See, I did not tell him, girl. Give me a high five. That's what I'm talking about. Good job. We appreciate your time, sweetie. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are having a whole lot of fun, and we're on location, Sound Off Live in the streets. And with me now, I'll tell you, this is just a good day for good-looking people. What's your name, sweetie?
Rebecca.
And Rebecca, where are you from?
New York.
Okay, so Rebecca, this morning we're talking about stereotype. What do you have to say about stereotyping?
Why does everybody think that people from New York are always from the city?
Well, are you?
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's country parts in the city, too.
Really? Okay, see? That was good. That's what I'm talking about. So you just informed me. I mean, that's good information. I appreciate that. You smart? So, Rebecca, what we do on Sound Off, we allow you to shout out to anyone you want to shout out to, and so you can do that right now.
A shout out to Jessie, my homegirl.
Okay, what's Jessie's last name? Let's give Jessie's government name.
Strickland.
Jessie Strickland, and who else?
John Hagan. That's my homie.
What about, what school did you attend?
I went to Aner.
Wow, I tell you, Aner is representing on this morning. Okay, good job. We appreciate it, girl. Thank you so much. All right, guys, at Sound Off, every week we give you the opportunity to shout out to anyone that you would like to shout out to. So I will begin with my man, my dude, Brandon. Shout out, my brother.
All right, I'd like to give a shout out to all my family, you know, like my sister, Chanel Davis, my nephew, Cordell Dyson, my little niece, Samaria Davis, everybody in the studio, of course.
I want to give a shout out to my whole entire family, Rena Willard, Joey Willard, Tavares Marianne, Gloria Griffin, and Naquaylin Griffin.
I'm going to give a shout out to my whole family too. Lawrence Johnson, yeah, my daddy. Jacqueline Johnson, my brother. Y'all know him as Junior Johnson. I love y'all, man.
I want to give a shout out to the man upstairs, number one. My parents, Tina and David D. Berry, number two. And a special shout out this week to Dolores, Omar, Bree, Travis, and my baby Trevor, Ross.
I want to give a special shout out to my parents, Tony, aka Turk Nice, and Gwen Pryor, and my little brother Jay Vaughn, Agit Blaine. And I also want to shout out to the Gamecocks Nation because we is going to win today. Gamecocks Nation, stand up.
And a very special shout out to Carolina Teen Health, our sponsor. Y'all, let's give it up for Carolina Teen Health. And I'd like to give a very special shout out to everyone in the Georgetown community, mainly Dunbar. Everyone in Georgetown, South Carolina, I stand on your shoulders. A very special shout out to my good friend Cynthia Ragg, and of course my wonderful husband and Courtney and Lance. Love you guys. Listen, join us next week. Join the conversation. Log on. It's www.wesoundoff.com. Guys, we sound off.
And you can sound off too.
God bless y'all. We'll talk to you next week.